you must have electricity. And you will not pay for estimated bill anymore. A promise made will be a promise kept. If I can't keep the promise and I come back for second term, don't vote for me. That's the truth.
Very good evening to you. Welcome to the Situation Room live on mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Well, apologies for starting a bit behind schedule. We're just trying to, put some of these things together because we're moving away far from Lagos today. We're stopping over in Adamawa State, and we're going to be speaking with the Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications to His Excellency Governor UMARU FINTIRI. Remember, we started this series last week, Thursday, which we call this Scorecard series. It's basically about creating a space for every political office holder, whether elected or selected. Of course, elected means your governors, your National Assembly members, your state houses of assembly members, your commissioners, and your state house of assembly members, your local government chairman. And when I mean appointed now or selected, I'm talking about your ministers, your commissioners, your senior special advisor or assistant, like we have joining me on the show today. Is basically providing a space where you come and give an account of stewardship. And this is a build-up to the 1-year anniversary of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that will be coming up on the 29th of May. We started up with the presidential conversation last week, Thursday. The chief political editor of Guardian newspaper, Mr. Opeyemi, was live in the studio with me, and he took us through the campaign promises of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the ones that have been met, the ones that are in the pipeline, and the ones that it looks like were really very far from that. Well, we've also had conversations around Plateau State. I've had two commissioners from Plateau State Information and Transport. Today, I'm being joined on the show live from Yola, the capital of Adamawa State, by the Senior Special Assistant to His Excellency Governor UMARU FINTIRI of Adamawa State on Public Communication, Mr. Lɪධᴇ. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us in Lagos.
Thank you very much for having me, my brother. Good evening. It's good to be with you.
Yeah, it's always my pleasure. The last time we had you on the show was when we had the issue of the court of the tribunal, or not even the tribunal, the election result announcement.
Yes, I remember.
Exactly.
I remember.
I think we broke the news of the result while you were live with us on the show. That was a couple of months back.
Yes, you did. That's true.
Okay, first off, let me appreciate you for finding time to join us on the show. It's been a whole lot trying to, get a track of you, and that's obviously because of the commitment you have on your job, series of meetings, and you promised you're going to be on the show today, and here we are to have these conversations. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I am so honored to be with you. It's always a pleasure to have us. Thank you for always considering us. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much. So let's get straight up into the conversation. And an area of infrastructure and development and insurgency destruction led by the insurgents. Talk to us about the journey.
Like I said, thank you for having me on behalf of the government of Adamawa State. The Vanguard Man of the Year award that was given to His Excellency, the Governor, is a very commendable one, but let me also say it is one of the many such awards that have come to His Excellency since he assumed office about 5 years ago. Practically every year there is always one or two or another newspaper, media organization that have gone through and seen the effort and the giant strides that have been made during his time and under his administration, and I've thought it was commendable and worthy of such acknowledgement and award. And so we thank the Vanguard for once again seeing what His Excellency had done for the good of Adamawa State and its good people. Like you rightly mentioned, Adamawa State is one of the 5 states that have been under the severe destruction of the insurgency of Boko Haram especially. Apart from Boko Haram, we've had other challenges that stem from previous farmers and herders clashes that almost became an everyday affair all over the state. Apart from other issues here and there of security concerns, but I can assure you, since resumption of office, His Excellency took deliberate steps. I can tell you deliberate steps were taken. And as a result of that, today, Adamawa State stands tall, like you mentioned again. Adamawa State is one of the most secured, one of the most peaceful states in the whole of northern Nigeria today. Not only the northeast, in the whole of northern Nigeria. And that is because of deliberate effort, deliberate steps that were taken by His Excellency to see to the fact that what we made on ground, what he came and found was the order of the day, that changes, that turns around for the good of the people. We kept having all kinds of conversations and meetings with all stakeholders in the security infrastructure, stakeholders in community, and all of that. And today, I can assure you, and it is verifiable fact, that Yola, the capital city of Adamawa State, is one of the few capital cities that you can drive at any time of the day and night without the fear of being molested, without the fear of even being stopped at a checkpoint by police or anything. There are no checkpoints in Yola. That is a testimony to the peace that we enjoy. You can drive at any time. The only thing we do is that by 10 o'clock, the usual commercial keke napep, and because we don't even have motorcycles, there are no motorcycles in Adamawa State. Yeah. It is only keke napep that operate. There are no motorcycles at all. And the keke napep end their operations at 10 o'clock at night. But when you have your vehicle, you are at liberty to drive at any time of the night. And I can assure you there will be no reason to be afraid for your security because it is a very secure state. So you can see the extent to which His Excellency has gone to secure the state. And let me not just say it is only about Yola, the state capital, but even the 5 local governments of Adamawa North that were the worst hit at the time, at the height of the insurgency of Boko Haram. Moving north, moving south, Maiha, Michika, and Madagali local government areas. You must remember His Excellency, our governor, comes from one of the local government areas. He is from Madagali local government. He was member of the House of Assembly that represented Madagali local government area and rose to become Speaker of the House of Assembly. So he took deliberate steps. And you must also remember that during the insurgency, almost every infrastructure around those local government areas were practically destroyed. From roads to bridges, culverts, everything, electrical infrastructures and everything. Today, all of those local governments, and I mean it, I mean everything I'm telling you, it's not for political purposes. All of those local government areas have been reconnected back to the national grid. They enjoy electricity and all roads have been rebuilt. In fact, His Excellency has built at least, and I'm telling you this for a fact, at least 7 kilometers of road in each of those local government areas. At least 7 kilometers of road. There are those that have gone beyond 15 kilometers of road just in the local government center, local government capital center, and all of that. Almost all the bridges have been repaired today. They've been put back to use. People can ply those roads freely without any fear and all of that. That is also because His Excellency had made a lot of investment in the area of security. He had donated so much to the military and to the police just to help them make sure their work is carried out and made easy for them to carry their work out. These are some of the things that His Excellency has been doing, I can assure you.
Okay. Thank you very much for helping us to set the conversation up. Well, I read about the World Bank funded RAM 2 project, and it looks like it's majorly focused on infrastructural rebuilding, especially the ones that were destroyed during, the height of the attack. And you talked about all of this, but beyond all of that, let's talk about the educational strides of His Excellency. Within the states in the Southeast, most of the national examinations, Adamawa State have not always had some good numbers, and of course it is there. What have been these things that His Excellency have been able to put in place to make sure that Adamawa State also invest in the future of the state, which is the young children, education at the elementary level and at the secondary level, beyond the infrastructural development that you're saying? Let's talk about those other investment as well.
I am always excited to talk about the educational strides of this administration of His Excellency, the Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, whenever it's mentioned. As a matter of fact, let me tell you the truth. When he came into office, his first focus, the first area he began to tackle was education. The first places he began to visit in 2019 when he assumed office was our schools. Because at the time, our boarding school system had practically gone extinct. It has gone into oblivion. There was no boarding school any longer in Adamawa State. Owing not only because of security challenge, but because government could no longer feed students in school. So His Excellency visited some of the major schools, some of our unity schools, and decided to restore back the boarding system, decided to restore the school feeding system back into schools. So students are able to be in one place, to be in school, because some of these schools had hostels. Let me tell you what the situation was. And students were actually allowed to stay in some of these hostels, but only if you can feed yourself, only if you can find a way around. However, these are secondary schools, remember, not tertiary institutions. But that was what was obtainable. His Excellency turned the story around and restored back the school boarding system, the school feeding system back into our schools. You must also remember that Adamawa State University was one of the premier state universities when the first set of the governors of 1999 came. Adamawa State University was one of the first state universities in the north, when states were beginning to now create their universities. But when we came, Adamawa State University had gone practically out of the ranking system. They don't even rank it. As a matter of fact, that university was almost at the verge of being closed. Today, all you need to do is to Google Adamawa State University and you will see the turnaround, the giant stride that has been made to turn that university around and what the university is doing. The number of professors that the university has produced and those that are even attracted to the university that are coming. But don't take me for my word. You can go and confirm it. His Excellency decided that the Ministry of Education was not just going to be a Ministry of Education during his first tenure. He decided to divide it into two. There's a Ministry of Higher and Professional Education that takes care of tertiary and professional institutions. And then there was a Ministry of Education that practically takes care of secondary and primary education. And that brought about some level of concentration and some level of seriousness and approach to our educational system. Between 1999 to now, His Excellency has employed in secondary schools alone, he has employed over 4,800 teachers for our secondary schools in Adamawa State. 4,800 teachers in the last 5 years alone. Apart from primary schools have enjoyed over 3,000 increase in the employment of teachers to those schools. You may wish to know that currently His Excellency has ordered the building of what we call model schools in Adamawa State across the 21 local government areas. 21 model schools are already being built and the structures are already on ground. They are verifiable. Anybody can find that out. These are not just political rhetoric and talk. They are being built, and he has promised before this year round, all of those schools will be commissioned and put into use. They are model schools that start from kindergarten to secondary school. You know, the attitude of government before now is that most lower level of education, nursery schools and all of that are practically run by private operators, private practitioners and all of that. This governor had decided to change it so that other people who cannot afford to send their little kids, their little children to nursery schools in private institutions can also have the opportunity of government-owned model schools where their children can go and be part of school. Now, these are the giant strides that His Excellency has continued. That is why we call him the fresh air governor. He had brought in fresh air into the state, into every sector of the state. And these are some of the things that are happening in our educational system. You must also remember, when we came, because of the backwardness of Adamawa State as a state in education, a lot of parents are unable to even pay as simple as WAEC, NECO, and JAM registration fee for their children. From the very onset, when he got into power, he declared WAEC, NECO, and JAM free. So nobody, since he became governor up to today, nobody pays his own in public schools. Nobody pays WAEC or NECO fee. The government pays for it. And it has shown us positive results, because you must remember also that the last WAEC result shows that Adamawa has made a very high score in terms of people who have, through their WAEC results, they've qualified for admission into universities because they have met the requirement of 5 credits, including math and English. At least we have hit over 80% of students who have been able to make that level of qualification, that level of attendance to meet the requirement for university admission and all of that. And these are all part of the effort, deliberate effort, again I say, deliberate effort of the government of His Excellency, the Right Honorable Ahmad Umar FINTIRI. If you compare them to what was obtainable before 2019, you will see the wide gap, you will see the disparity, you will see the difference between what we made and where we are today.
Thank you very much. Well, in case you're just tuning in, I've been speaking with the Senior Special Assistant on Public Communication to the Governor of Adamawa State, His Excellency Right Honorable Ahmadu Umaru FINTIRI, Mr. Lɪධᴇ. By the way, in case you're wondering why my guest is so eloquent, well, he's a public speaker, and he's someone I'd actually followed even before he picked up his political appointment. I'm sure you'll be surprised. Well, I have been privileged by the virtue of, all of these that we do to visit virtually all of the states in Nigeria. And I remember I told you earlier in the day that Adamawa State is the state I'm yet to spend a night. I've actually passed through Yola, but I'm yet to spend a night in Yola. So it looks like I have a mission right now. Maybe my next visit, Yola, would certainly be on my schedule. So we've talked about the issue of infrastructures, the rebuilding process of Adamawa State. We've also talked about the giant stride in education, and let's talk about the health sector, which obviously needs a lot of energy, because you need to have a very healthy citizen before you can talk about having a citizen that's ready to respond. Now, very recently, a multipurpose community hall was built and delivered in Yola that is supposed to have an all-round system where, people can come in, especially people that have been affected, women, girls that have been affected by the insurgency. There's also the multipurpose community hall. There's also the Adamawa State primary health care development agencies. Beyond infrastructure and education, let's talk about what His Excellency had also been doing in the area of the health sector.
Another beautiful area that His Excellency, when His Excellency ran his campaign, and before I get to that, we'll be inviting you to come to Yola. I hope you come to Yola very soon. Like I mentioned, it's one of the places that you will have fun, you will enjoy, and you will be sure you are secured without fear of anything. That's number one. And so, talking about health sector again, His Excellency ran his campaign when he came in 2018, 2019 on what we call the 11-point agenda. And he encapsulated everything one after the other. On the strength of all of that, on the basis of that, the people of Adamawa bought into his 11-point agenda and elected him as governor. Healthcare was one of his heart cries when he kept telling people. And today, to the testimony of the great job and what His Excellency has done, and to the glory of God, His Excellency has built 9 cottage hospitals across Adamawa State. Before now, those places where the cottage hospitals exist were local government areas who never had as simple as cottage hospital, a whole local government area. Probably what you will find there are dispensaries, primary health care dispensaries that are basically there to cater for the need of pregnant women and children, basically, for antenatal, postnatal, delivery. Those were the only things those dispensaries could do. I give you a perfect example, and those who know Adamawa State very well will bear me witness. We have an area in Adamawa we call the Numan Federation, and that is where I am from. Numan Federation consists of 5 local government areas of Numan, Demsa, Lamurde, Shelang, and Guyuk. Of all these 5 local governments, there's only one hospital that exists in Numan, Numan General Hospital. So anybody who gets sick in 5 hospitals must be referred to Numan General Hospital. Today, to the glory of God and the testimony of the giant strides of His Excellency, there are cottage hospitals in each of these local government areas today. 60-bed capacity, at least 60-bed capacity cottage hospitals that are powered by generators in case of the national grid failing, are powered by solar powered energy, just in case something goes wrong, whether with fueling and all of that. These are hospitals that could house at least 60 in-house patients, apart from outpatients and all of that. His Excellency has renovated, done a turnaround maintenance and renovation on all of our general hospitals in the state, all existing general hospitals in the state, with special, I don't know, His Excellency has a special affinity with issues of laboratory tests and all of that. So he put a lot of concentration in these hospitals also on the tests that are carried out on people. So labs are being renovated and put into use. The Yola Specialist Hospital, which is the largest state government hospital in existence, of course, we have, you must understand, we have 2 other federal medical centers in Adamawa State, in Mubi, in Hong, and then we have a teaching hospital in Yola, the University Teaching Hospital. But the major hospital, which is the Yola Specialist Hospital, today His Excellency has built a 3-story laboratory complex. It is only for laboratory. 3-story building. He has made a turnaround maintenance of the entire hospital, not only in infrastructure, pharmacies, midwives, and all other necessary health workers that are supposed to be employed in this hospital. These are some of the, I can tell you for a fact, that Adamawa today runs out.
About infrastructure, education, health sector. Now let's talk about the agro sector. In February 2024, His Excellency approved a 500 million grant for agro input farmers. And I mean, you look at the challenge that we're facing as a nation right now in terms of food crisis, the cost of items, food commodities in the market is almost becoming unaffordable for people. And just like you said, you don't want to join issues with the South. We down South always know that the bulk of what we enjoy is mostly coming from the North when it comes to food and farm produce, the yams, the onions, the tomatoes and all of that. What have been the strides that His Excellency is also putting in place in area of, contributing, food supply to the country, so that we don't just wait on Benue alone, we don't wait on Plateau alone, we don't wait on Zamfara or Nasarawa alone. We'd also look into Adamawa and say, hey, please, what are you supplying to the country? So talk to us about the agricultural strides or, investments that the government of Governor FINTIRI is putting in place for Adamawa State.
Oh, well, that is very true. And it's a very good question, considering the fact that we consider Adamawa an agrarian society, it's an agrarian state. So agriculture is one of our main states, one of our basic areas of income, whether we are doing it, whether it is cash crop or even if it is our own subsistence kind of agriculture and all of that. So I can tell you we had a challenge. Let me start from there. We had a challenge, number one, because of the insurgency in northeastern Nigeria. You know, government at the federal level had banned the sales of fertilizers in the northeast as a whole. Adamawa is one of the states that was affected. So when His Excellency came in, he knew he had made a serious problem in his hands, because most of our agriculture will have to be supplemented with fertilizer. If you cannot fertilize our crops, then you almost have a very big challenge. His Excellency began to exploit other means of how to help farmers acquire other forms of agricultural input that makes farming easy and possibly.
Okay, we'll try and reconnect with my guest. Hey, it's been a very interesting conversation, and I've been speaking with the Senior Special Assistant on Public Communication to the Governor of Adamawa State. Yes, talking about Lɪධᴇ is the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Public Communication from Adamawa State. Well, we'll link up back. Let's see how well we can go with this conversation. Okay, you're live on Mainland 98.3 FM, and it's the Situation Room. We started off a series last week, which is the scorecard, as a build-up to the 1-year anniversary of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration that will be on the 29th of May. So we're visiting state governors, we're visiting House of Assembly members. Good to have you back.
Yes. So we were talking agriculture.
Hello?
Yes, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Thank you very much. So His Excellency decided to find other means, to go around and see what are the other means of helping farmers to get some of these implements that are under ban. And we were able to get the liquid fertilizer system for farmers to supplement and to help the shortage that they were going to be experiencing as a result of the ban on the other form of fertilizer that had been banned. And this has helped greatly. Like you did mention earlier, His Excellency had done an agri loan system of over 100 billion naira. 100 billion naira that was going to be spread over 4-year term, a 4-year period to farmers. And today, that has made Adamawa one of the major rice producing states in the country. In northern Nigeria, most of the rice that go to all parts of the country today are also coming from Adamawa State. All of our Fadama areas across Adamawa, you must remember, Adamawa has the advantage of having River Benue passing through it. And so it creates a lot of Fadama areas where farmers, especially during dry season, you see a lot of dry season farming going on because of this wetlands and all of that. We also have the advantage of River Gongola passing through us. So 2 rivers transversing the land had created that conducive farming atmosphere for our farmers. And therefore, His Excellency has made, we are a major producer of groundnut. You must know that. Most of the groundnut that is coming from northern Nigeria also partly come from Adamawa State. We're a major producer of cowpea, or beans, as people call it. Most of the beans that come into other parts of Nigeria are from Adamawa State. Moving north, moving south, Maiha, Michika, Madagali, the northern part of Adamawa are a major producers of these crops, these products. A whole lot of maize that go into this country come from Adamawa State, and that has also been because of the much help that the government has done. Yam, like you mentioned, it's Benue. There's a belt for yam farming that flows from Benue, Taraba, and Adamawa State. Adamawa Southern zone that comprises of Marubulwa local government, Jada local government, Genya local government, and Tongo are a yam farming hub. That a whole lot of the yam that comes out of, comes into the country, around the country, comes from these areas. So agriculture has also been a very, very major area where His Excellency has put a lot of effort. There's a professor that is a commissioner that oversees that ministry, and he's doing extremely well, doing a beautiful job at it for that matter.
Let's go back to the issue of security. When you were talking about the infrastructural effort of the governor, you talked about some of the things that have been, put back in place, some of the bridges that have been destroyed, some of the culverts, the schools, and some of the public facilities generally. Now, let's talk about sustaining the peace that Adamawa is enjoying at the moment. It's one thing to have peace relatively, is another thing to have sustainable peace. What are the things that the governor is putting in place or has put in place? I noticed that during the last governorship election in the state, as against what we used to have, there were almost no cases of electoral violence. We did a study over all of the northeast and the northwestern states, and Adamawa stands tall. What are the things that the governor has been able to do, or is also still putting in place, to sustain the peace that Adamawa is enjoying, relative peace at the moment?
I can tell you the truth. Like I said from the onset, that the peace we enjoy today did not come cheap. It came as a result of deliberate effort, deliberate, purposeful, planned efforts of His Excellency, the Governor. And there are committees, committees at different levels of security, committees of elder statesmen in the state, committee of professionals in the areas of security, infrastructure, of course, committees that also involve the police, the Department of State Security, and the military, where necessary always. And these committees are in different categories or at different stratas. There is the state committee, it trickles down to the local government, trickles down to the ward, and that also includes the traditional rulers. The traditional rulers also have their own strata or classes. The first class traditional rulers, they have their district heads. The district heads have other layers under them and all of that. His Excellency has made it a matter of policy that they have periodic meetings. They take stock. They look at where challenges could come from, challenges could arise, and look at them with a holistic attitude, with a view to also finding what solutions and lasting solutions to those problems are. Like I told you, when we came in, the clashes between farmers and cattle rearers, what they call farmer herders clashes, was an everyday situation in Adamawa State. Almost every local government, almost every community. Today is a thing of the past. You will not even believe there are farmers on a different side and there are herders on a different side, because His Excellency made committees that included them, inculcated them, with a view to talking and finding what are the problems and what are the solutions. And these committees continue to work. They have never slept. They will never sleep. It is not a matter like we say, okay, now peace has returned, so everybody, you're disbanded and you can now go back and you can go to sleep or anything. No, they continue to work every day, continue to put their eyes on every situation, their ears open to hear and to know what is happening, with the view to making sure we nip them at the bud even before they rear their ugly head. There was a period when we came in, when this government came in, the state capital had this challenge of young people, they call themselves the Sheila boys. They were terrorizing people within the metropolis, especially women in public transport, in Keke Napep and all of that. His Excellency swore during his campaign and said he will bring an end to this. Today is a thing of the past. We might hear that particular issue, like once in a while, hear little skirmishes here and there. But His Excellency also did that by providing other gainful ventures for these young people to do. And he has made it in such a way that they are in different stratas. We've done youth empowerment programs that is training youth to gain skills in different areas of life where they can use and get a meaningful life for themselves. He has opened up employment, even at local government levels, made local governments to create employment, little employment. As a matter of fact, down to the point of employing people who even help in sweeping the street, only because you want to make sure they are gently engaged and they are being paid for it. All of that has reduced drastically the level of unemployment, the level of redundancy of youth in the state that is causing some of these problems and all of that. So these are all efforts. And you talked about sustainability. That is true. Of what use can these things be if after His Excellency is come and gone, everything goes back to square one, everything returns to where it used to be. So there are infrastructures on ground, there are plans that have been put on ground that do not only take care of these things in the interim as just a measure for the now, but something that we can sustain. The lasting peace that we enjoy today is something His Excellency hope can be sustained. And so these committees continue to work day and night. They are being remunerated for that. They are being paid for that also from time to time. Of course, there are some that are not being paid because they are elder statesmen whose interest is just to make sure they serve a society, they serve the community with what they have as their experience in handling some of these things. But there are people who are being paid for this. His Excellency has continued to interface with security operatives, with all formations of security in the state, to always make sure that the periodic meetings of security meetings, as you call them, and all of that are always carried out to stem the tide of anything that will rise as a threat to our sense of security, to our peaceful coexistence in the state. And I can tell you, these things will be sustained unless other people come after this governor and deliberately decide to sabotage and turn the tables around and change the narrative. Else, what is on ground now is something that can be sustained for very, very long, for years to come. We in fact hope we will never return again for whatever reason to where we have left, where we're coming from, and all of that. That I can assure you.
Thank you very much. We're almost done with the conversation, but I also want to ask you the issue of minimum wage. Mr. Leader, you would agree with me that in the last 1 year, every single state in the country is getting increased level of allocation. Some states are getting as much as 40% more of what they used to earn. That means there are more money that is now being given to the governors. Now, let me break this down. In March, the Federation account actually shared a total of 1,123.89 billion. That's a lot of money. And on top of that, the minimum wage conversation had constantly been at the front burner. The removal of subsidy had made sure that it's beginning to become an issue for Nigerians to afford the basic things of life. No matter how all of the things we've been saying today sound so good and interesting, what is the position of His Excellency Governor UMARU FINTIRI on the new minimum wage if it is eventually implemented after the presidency set up a 37-man committee to look into it? Would Governor FINTIRI implement the new minimum wage if and when eventually agreed on?
Okay, now let me even inform you that committee, the Northeast zonal sitting of that committee took place in Yola.
Yes.
For the 6 states of the Northeast geopolitical zone, and His Excellency did everything in his power to make sure that meeting was a successful meeting. All delegates that participated and came for the meeting to discuss the issues of minimum wage. As a matter of fact, the chairman who came to Yola himself was the NLC national president. He was the one who chaired the Yola sitting, and I was there myself. I can assure you that. Now, on the issues of minimum wage, the governor, our governor, His Excellency, the Right Honorable UMARU FINTIRI, is, as a matter of fact, one person you will call the civil service governor. He has a name that people call him the ATM governor. I don't know whether you've had that name.
Because of constant payment of salaries. Yes, I know.
Yes, the ATM governor. That was because of his disposition to paying civil servants their salary as and when due. So civil servants named him the ATM governor. He pays salaries from the time he came into office in 2019 to date. He promised the salaries will be paid between 23 and 24th of every month. We call him the 23-24 governor, as a matter of fact, again. He has never defaulted, not even once, since he became governor. This state has never owed salary of workers for a single month. Never. It has not happened in the last almost 5 years. Like this month will make it 5 years. He has never owed one kobo of salary. Now, this governor is the first governor when minimum wage was pegged at 30,000 naira. He was the first governor who announced his minimum wage to be 35,000. I don't know if you're aware. You can check it. You can Google that. He announced his own minimum wage to be 35,000 naira. In the wake of the difficulty, in the wake of the fuel subsidy removal and all of that last year when it began to happen, he was the first governor who increased salary of civil servants by 10,000 naira pro rata across board for every civil servant. He felt this will help in alleviating transportation costs. So he added 10,000 naira automatically for every civil servant, every government paid person, as a matter of fact. So every month there's an increase of 10,000 naira that comes to you as salary. So back to your question on the discussion of minimum wage. This is what I'll tell you. My governor believes that minimum wage should not be discussed as a national issue generally. He believes in what is called the living wage. And the living wage could differ in different places depending on the cost of living, on the situation that is prevalent, on the situation that is available, on the situation that is found around those places. And he believes the civil servants today cannot live. He believes civil servants today cannot even live on a minimum wage of less than 75,000 naira. That is the position of my governor. He believes civil servants cannot live. If we're talking about living wage, they cannot live less below 75,000 naira. But of course, he is a man who is also open to the discussion at the national level. And whatever is agreed upon as a general minimum wage, this is one governor who will not fail on that. He will not fail on that. I assure you, he's not going to be some of the governors who go arguing, who might even go to court and say we cannot pay. Therefore, federal government must review, reverse, and all of that. No, he's not going to be one governor who will be willing and ready to pay the minimum wage, because he is a civil servant governor, a man who loves the civil service, and he believes that these are statutory things, that it's not a favor you're doing to the civil servant. It's a statutory thing. You're just giving him his due, what he had labored for, what he has worked for, and therefore it shouldn't even be something that is negotiable.
Thank you very much. Let's talk about collaborations now between Adamawa and other neighboring states. A friend of mine works in one of the media houses in Yola, and on Sunday we had a conversation around how the government or how the state is trying to open up to make sure that there are collaborative efforts with the state around in terms of protecting the borders of the state, in terms of also bringing in development into the state. What are the thoughts or what are the plans that the governor is having in terms of collaborating with other states? What I can't produce, you can produce. What you can't produce, I can also offer. And secondly, while we say our goodbyes on the show, what had been the effort of the governor in empowering the young people of the state? You talked about the issue of the little restiveness that we used to have, but it's important to have a society where people are aware of different ways of doing things beyond just taking the boys up the street. What do you do with them? The ones that are not formally educated, how do you educate them informally? Do we have all of these things in plan? I mean, you've got 3 more years. This is the second term of our Governor UMARU FINTIRI, and constitutional, even though he says if the constitution allows it, he would win for a 3rd term. But the constitution does not allow it. That means in the next 3 years, he's going to be out of office. Talk to us about his effort in making sure that the youth in Adamawa State are properly engaged, and other collaborations with the state around, especially with the state within the Northeast?
I will start with the collaboration with other states, the neighboring states within the Northeast. Number one, when His Excellency came into office, like I told you, one of our major challenges in terms of security was not only the Boko Haram that people knew about, but the farmers-herders clashes. It had become an everyday. It had engulfed the whole state. As a matter of fact, I can tell you it was worse for us than Boko Haram was, because Boko Haram only took place in the northern part of the state. There was neighboring Borno and all of that. But the farmers-herders clashes
was a bigger problem.
It was a much more bigger problem. It had gone all over the state and all of that. So when the governor began to work towards solving this problem, he knew he also had to collaborate with other states around. Because some of these farmers, some of these herders that come, herders are people who are nomads mostly. They move from place to place. So some of them are not even coming from your locality. They're not even coming from your state. They flow from other states into your state, and they clash with your farmers and all of that. So he began the first Northeast Security Summit that was held in Yola on the effort of His Excellency the Governor, who invited his colleagues, his other governor counterparts in the Northeast, convinced them to a summit to discuss the issues of security in the Northeast that goes beyond just Boko Haram. And they came and discussed that in Yola. And it eventually became a periodic meeting. In fact, it was from that meeting, the meeting born what is now the Northeast Governors Forum, as a matter of fact, where the governors periodically from time to time get to have a meeting. As a matter of fact, I think in about a week or so, they are supposed to have another few months after the last meeting, and what can be done, what has been done, what are the achievements, what are the improvements, and then what are the new challenges and what can be done to tackle them. So I can tell you these are the efforts. These are and the last Northeast Governors Forum again, this last one that just took place again in Yola. The next one will be in Bauchi. I can tell you the disposition of this governor, his seriousness, his commitment to making sure the security is in the front burner, the security of lives and property, which is the primary role of government, is put in the front burner as the number one thing. He does that without fear or favor. He does not have sacred cows when it comes to issues of security. He does not play favoritism. He does not play the religious card that many people play in this country, or the ethnicity card. He's a governor who knows no man after his tribe or creed. That is not his problem at all. That I can assure you. So, to your other question with regards to youth, this is indeed a very big challenge. It's not only a challenge, I believe.
Hello? Hello? Okay, we're almost done with the conversation, by the way, but I would also appreciate if you can just wrap it up before 5 o'clock, when we'll have to, take the headline news and also pay some bills. But in case you're just tuning in and you're wondering, who have I been speaking with on the show? I've been speaking with the Senior Special Advisor, or Assistant rather, on Public Communication to the Adamawa State Governor, His Excellency Governor UMARU FINTIRI. That's Mr. Lɪධᴇ. And we've looked at the effort of the governor in the last 5 years, or perhaps specifically in the last 1 year. Yes, this series we started last week, Wednesday. We decided to call it the Scorecard Series. It's a build up to the 1 year anniversary of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We look at the campaign promises of governors, of National Assembly members, state houses of assembly members, local government chairmen. I would also look at how those that did not contest, that were just appointed, how they've been able to push with the mandate of the people that appointed them, commissioners, ministers, head of departments and agencies. We'll have every single one of them that can be available join us on the show to also just give us what have you been up to in the last 1 year, what have been the challenges, what have been the success stories of your state, of your senatorial district. Leader, I think the network disconnected us. Let's just wrap it up in about 2-3 minutes.
All right, so thank you very much. I'm sorry about the network.
It's okay.
The challenge, yes. So, with regards to young people and youth engagement, this is one governor who is also very, very committed and serious about that. Our Ministry of Youth Development, Sport and Youth Development is working assiduously, seriously, night and day without rest to make sure that our youth are gainfully engaged in terms of providing all the necessary infrastructure for them to thrive. I will not lie to you and tell you this government will get every youth employed on a salaried kind of employment. But His Excellency is making all efforts to make sure that youth are engaged positively. And one of such efforts is that he has already awarded the contract of the construction of an ultra-modern stadium that is in hundreds of billions, in billions, that will be constructed to get youth positively engaged even with sporting activities, to reduce some of this restiveness and some of these vices that youth are engaged in and all of that. But like I said again, youth empowerment programs are the hallmark of this government. And with all gratitude to other partners, other agencies from the federal government to non-governmental organizations, international and local non-governmental organizations. You must remember that Adamawa State, being one of the northeast states and being one of the worst affected by the insurgency, enjoys the patronage of non-governmental organizations also, who come around to create favorable, gainful, positive activities for young people to get them engaged. So we're doing relatively well. I cannot say we're doing perfectly well in terms of youth engagement in Adamawa State. There's still a lot of work to be done. There's still room for improvement, I believe, and I agree with that. But I can also tell you, we are not where we used to be. We are not where we met Adamawa State. We have made tremendous improvements. We've made giant strides. We've moved forward, and we continue to move forward. We continue to make other efforts to make sure that all those restiveness, because we did not just take care of Sheila boys by deploying security to just shoot and maim or anything. No. It also came with getting some of them, their leaders, dialoguing with them and getting them gainfully engaged and all of that, which also caused their followers and the other young people to also desist and hands off from whatever it was their activities was in the past. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the last 55 minutes. It's been a long one. Almost I guess today, the boss leader, of course, is a lawyer, one time, aspirant also for the House of Representatives under the platform UMARU FINTIRI of Adamawa State. Thank you very much, Leader Leneke.
I appreciate this. Thank you for always having me.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And regards to His Excellency, like I said, I've not. Thank you very much. Well, we need to take a very series that we started last week, and we'll be as in the case of people that are in their second term in office or the ones that are just starting the last 1 year. What have you done? What have you done with public trust? What have you done with taxpayer politics? Want to talk Opeyemi?
Mainland 98.
Headline News on 98.3 Mainland FM.
The
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Fubara to probe Wike's administration sets up panel of inquiry. 6 more abducted Kogi Varsity students rescued. Women Affairs Minister petitions Niger Speaker over proposed mass wedding for 100 girls in the state. On the foreign scene manned Daniela Mokachi, the new messiahs for the Super Eagles. As the headline news on Mainland FM, details at 5:30.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
The 2024-2025 University and Polytechnic admission is here. At Eko City Polytechnic, opportunity to gain admission and bag a national degree is now available in the following courses: Mass Communication, Computer Science, Computer Engineering, Accounting, Business Administration, Science Laboratory Technology, Electrical Electronics Engineering, Performing and Media Art, Banking Operations, Multimedia Technology. If you wrote the last JAMB and still seek admission, the opportunity is available at Eko Joint Administration and Matriculation Board JAMB and the National Board for Technical Education NBTE. At Eko City Polytechnic, lecturers bring to class both industry and academic experience. Facilities in the school includes broadcasting studio, photography studio, radio booth, digitally equipped classroom, hostels for male and female, software lab, library. Eko City Polytechnic is located at 100 Alhaji Onile 036478714 or 09162540610 or 08126580784. Lastly, 09162699996 or visit our website at www.ecocity.edu.ng. Eko City.
New Lafarge water shield cement, waterlogged areas. Number 1 waterproof cement. Water jam house, waterlogged areas. Number 1 waterproof cement. Lafarge cement. New Lafarge water shield cement and confirm.
Put full stop for water wahala.
New Lafarge water shield cement na confirm.
Hey, Oga, we don ready to start the foundation.
Say everything don set?
Yes, sir. Wetin remain now na to buy granite, sand, iron rods, concrete blocks, cement and...
Engineer, wait. Which kind cement una wan use? Tell me.
Na the normal
wey no dey let yamayama water wahala start. The correct cement for you na the new Lafarge water shield. Lafarge water shield na the ogbonge power waterproof cement wey dem formulate for areas wey get water wahala. Lafarge na confirm cement. New Lafarge water shield cement na confirm.
Put full stop for water wahala.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere it can say it except here.
The chance to make their political decisions. Constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man. There is nothing. We are starving. We should please do something.
It's also important to have business professionals and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership. Every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial.
Okay, welcome back. We should be done in the next 20 minutes or thereabouts. And if you missed the first part of the show, you can go on our social media platforms, facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM or Instagram and YouTube, mainland 98.3 FM, to catch up on what we've discussed. And don't forget to, follow us. And you can also use our feedback, section on the pages and talk back to us in case there's anything you need to know or if there's any information or you want to make audit. Internet can come around and give an account of stewardship. What have you been up to? Your principal, if you're a spokesperson, or if you're a commissioner, what has your department or your ministry been up to? If you're a minister, what has your ministry been up to? If you're a National Assembly member, probably a senator, what have you done for your senatorial district, your House of Reps members? What have you done for your constituents, House of Assembly members? Is basically providing that platform where people can say, hey, this is what we've been up to Ebonyi, to Kogi, to Plateau, to, every corner, irrespective of your political party. Once we can get a hold of you and you're available for interview, we'll certainly make it happen on this platform. 4 to 5:30 p.m. every Mondays to Friday. From now till it's going to be joining us towards the end of the month to close it up. So we just have to go back and review how the government should go on to purchase CNG powered vehicles. Yes, that was the what was agreed upon. By the way, the FEC meeting, as the Federal Executive Council meeting yesterday, was not concluded. After about 5 hours deliberation, it was extended to continue today. I don't know if that had ever happened before. And that was the 11th, our FEC meeting that had been, that had gone on under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 5 hours deliberation. There are reports that there were 2 days of vehicles and they are not CNG powered vehicles must be returned and reviewed and included CNG powered vehicles. I mean, it's basically about having a control over the emission, the eco-friendly policy of the president in line with the United Nations and all of that, which I think it's a good idea. I just hope that these vehicles will be made available and at not such a cutthroat price. But that's actually the update I need for you to know. So you can join the conversation. I've been speaking with the Senior Special Assistant to Governor UMARU FINTIRI of Adamawa State. He's told us what the governor has done in the area of infrastructure, education, health sector, youth empowerment, agro investment, and this is how we're going to do it. If you're speaking to governors, spokespersons of governors, they will talk to us on this platform and what they've been up to, especially since the removal of subsidy meant there are a lot of monies now for governors to share or to work with. They said they don't share money, they use it to do projects. Interesting conversation. It's time for you to join us. 091-3600-0410. Take the number again. 091-3600-0410. We visited Adamawa today. On Thursday, we don't know where we're going to visit next. Hello, good evening. You're welcome.
Well, I mean, when are you going to feature Lagos State now?
Lagos is home. Don't worry.
Now we want to hear what Lagos will tell us that they have done.
Okay, we're working on that.
Yes, because so far we are seeing demolition everywhere. But come to Mafuluku, there's no road that they have done. And I want to ask the governor of Lagos State what he's doing about water. There's no water. Do we even have a water board in Lagos? There's nothing like that. He doesn't even have it in his program. So I want to see what his spin doctors will come and tell us that day.
Okay.
It is so shameful. We have a governor. Look at all the money. No water no pipe-on water. We buy water from Aboki. We buy water from we buy pure water. Pure water is not very expensive. So bring Lagos. It's Lagos that is expensive. not Adamawa or Sokoto or Kafantan.
Okay.
We Lagos.
Thank you very much, Okangbelina. If you understand how, how difficult some of these things are, then you would know that I would certainly love to have His Excellency Governor WG sit right in front of me, and then we'll have that conversation. What has been the Lagos journey? It's 5 years down the line. So don't worry. I give you my word that we're certainly working on that. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening, Opeyemi.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Alaba is my name.
Good to have you today.
How could somebody call on radio and say Lagos State is not working? Opeyemi, if I didn't like you, if I hate you to high heaven, nothing you will do that will convince me. That is the answer to that. What is Lagos State doing? You two that you are sitting in the radio, in the studio there, you know that you can't and you can never compare Lagos State to any other state. How could somebody just call and you even have the answer? Which other state can you sleep with your two eyes closed? I beg, let people park well. Let me say this.
Please, say, just join us.
Yes,
just join the conversation. Let me have your opinion.
Let me say this. Alabalapa is my name. Fishing from Ojo in Lagos. Even Ojo, that is even some sketch of Lagos State, is even enjoying the development that is going on in Lagos State. Come to Ojo local government. General Hospital is going on at Yanoba. We get to Yanoba. Beside last week there, beside Lagos State University there, you will see the massive infrastructure of General Hospital that is going on. 21st century General Hospital that is going on by this current administration of Jide Sanwo-Olu. How could somebody be saying such a thing? You have the answer now.
Okay.
So let me say this. You're concerning the CNG that the governor, the president has ordered his people to go and purchase and all that thing. I think it's a laudable idea. If we can eat what we produce, that money will be in our pocket bag. Are you getting my point?
I'm with you.
If, for example, now, as the president is involved in this, he should also say, okay, those people should also, those stores selling at Abba Market, they should also be purchasing from there. They should not be wearing Italian shoes again.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Alaba.
They need to do. Let us eat what we produce.
Thank you.
You get more money. Good evening.
Thank you very much, and good evening as well. Well, people have the right to ask the government questions, and that's why we provide this platform. And I understand why people want us, hey, talk to the Ogun State government, talk to Lagos State government. Don't worry. I will give you my word that we'll cover as much as we can from now to the end of May, where the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will clock 1 year in office. And this series was actually born out of the fact that there's more money right now being given to the governors from the Federation account every month. And so we need to ask, what are you doing with this? Why do we have to struggle with the issue of minimum wage? Why do we need to set up a committee to take months before they can agree that Nigerian workers need more money? My guest today talked about the fact that the government of Adamawa State is not even talking of minimum wage. They are looking towards living wage. That means you pay people according to, the economy of that state, which is really interesting, by the way. But hey, we keep the conversation going. 091-3600-0410. Hello, good evening. Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Hello, good evening. Oh dear. Maybe you need to just relax so that some of the calls will drop before the other ones I can connect. I understand everybody wants to talk. Well, it's a challenge and we jump at it. We're going to be having a representative from the Lagos State government to join us as quick as we can make that happen. Hello, good evening.
Okay, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Hello, good evening.
I'm with you.
Yes. My name is Madam Salah. I'm calling from Alagbado.
Good to have you join us.
Okay, do I hear you saying that Mr. President said that he is ordered to buy CNG buses forever? Hello?
I'm with you, Madam Salah.
I'm asking now, is that true? I heard from you say that
yes, the president had instructed that MDAs...
Exactly 1 year, exactly 1 year or some minutes or some hours or rather for days to 1 year. He promised, he tell Nigerians that he will roll out about 3,000 CNG buses. Are those buses are available now? Of course, no. So you see, we don't like political statements. We have past that stage now. You are telling other states or departments to buy buses. You promised almost a year. None of them you provided. That is that. Coming back to Adamawa, the man is telling you that the governor. Do you know that, okay, I'm telling you this for free, with this all appraiser that, because what you are doing is just to promote their system. Because when you bring an image maker, you don't expect him to tell something.
So, Malam Salau, what exactly are you expecting me to do to bring the opposition to come talk?
No problem. No, that is why I'm calling.
Okay.
I want to counter him now.
Okay, so please, you should do straight that.
Straight to that. He's telling you that His Excellency will pay living wage, and right now they are earning just 35,000 naira, which cannot buy a bag of fertilizer, urea, which is 45,000 naira. Do you know that if this governor, if to say Aisha and this thing, she say, oh man, you could have collected this government from this man.
Okay, now that's exactly where I'm going to have problem with. I'm not going to provide a space for you to have the gender conversation, whether for the right or for the wrong reasons. It's basically an appraisal space here, and if you're not comfortable with whatever it is that somebody had come to say about a governor, about a senator, if you have contrary opinions to that, please just bring it here. I mean, we're not closing the door to anybody's opinion. If you think, oh, your spokesperson just lied, I'm from Mubi, I'm from Michigan, I'm from Magadali, I know these things are all lies, talk to us about it. That's exactly what it is. Not if this person had won the election. No. Thank you very much, Malam Salau. Hello, good evening.
Hello,
you're welcome.
I greet you. Good evening to you. This is Dampi from Igondo.
Good to have you today.
Let me tell you something. You see the man that called now. You see all the credit that is given to the governor. You see? That is how it's supposed to be. It does not matter the kind of party. If you're APC, PDP, anything. We are not interested about your party. What we need is for you to work, do the job. All these governors, they are repairing their state. You find out that the crowd in Lagos will reduce. Look at what is happening in my state, Abia State. Look at about the new power, the development there, about the power. And in other states too, they try to work hard. You will find out that there will be nobody who will stay in Lagos. Lagos is too overcrowded. It's too overrated.
Where do you want us to go now? We are in Lagos.
I'm telling you, I was born in Lagos. Let me tell you something. I was born in Lagos. My primary school, my university, everything in Lagos. Lagos is too overrated and crowded. If other states will be developed, if other governors can do their work, I'm telling you, there's nothing in this Lagos. I'm telling you the truth. Because it is too overrated. Look at that man that called and that said that why will you see Lagos? Lagos is working, we know. But what have they done? What have they done? If they too overrate this Lagos, let other governments do their job. And you see how they are crediting this state governor, this Adamawa. Had it been, tell me now, what has APC done? Is when Tinubu came into power. 100 days in office will determine your government. Tell me one thing APC have done. 2027 is near by the corner. Their money will not work for them. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. 09136000410. It is not in my habits to, take callers off, but let's just stick to the rule of the game. Yes, as simple as that. Larry Ola come in and say, okay, thank you. Onotoye Temitok Michael on Facebook is talking to us, and it says that can this administration prove to Nigerians that the introduction of the vehicles using gas is not another way to shift the mind of Nigerians from not focusing on when the Port Harcourt refinery will begin operation after all of the promises were cancelled? Can this idea be sustainable when it is combined with vehicles and generators, which will definitely increase the price? As at today, the cost of 12.5 kg of gas is 14,500. Is that not ridiculous when we have gas that are just flaring up and the government is there to find solution? Also having several meetings on party merger ahead of 2027 general election is good, but the main issue is that are the gladiators ready to allow the national interest to supersede personal interest by allowing the choice of the candidate of Nigerians to be the flag bearer of the major party. I know you're referring to the post by the candidate of the Labour Party, of the PDP in the last election, 𝐴Laji 𝐴TIKU Abubakar. Well, he had a meeting with the candidate of the Labour Party, the former governor of Anambra State, yes, Peter Gregory Obi, yesterday, and it generated a lot of buzz around the social media. Okay. Nwundu Austin says Alabalakwe should allow people to hear the views about the Sanwo-Olu and his government. No light in Lagos. All the inner roads are bad. No pipe-borne water anywhere. Well, the people of Lagos will soon join us and they will speak. Hello, good evening.
Hello, okay.
You're welcome.
Good evening. I called back. I don't know whether from my end or rather network. I don't know. So as I was saying, if the man performs very well, why did he struggle to return that seat?
Sorry, Malam Salau. I'm going to say this clearly. I actually took care of the other time, and that's because you were trying to build up a conversation around, if the APC candidate had won the election, and if she was a man, she would have been able to get the result out of Governor Fintiri. No, don't do that. Let's just stick to what we're talking about. Let us appraise what the performances have been, and if you have any contrary opinion to what had been said or what would be said by, what will have been said rather by anybody else, let's stick to that line of thoughts. I would appreciate that. Hello, good evening. Prince Wise.
I'm around you. How is everything now?
Good to have you on the show today.
I want to talk about this. Do you allow that to happen?
I didn't hear you.
I think I will talk about our state.
Please go on. It's open.
Number one, I want to commend the governor. Because that's a governor.
You just got a chieftaincy title, I think, over the weekend.
See, it was this for the land.
Yes, exactly.
If we perform again, we will give our statue for our land. I wanted to perform because this time around, Opeyemi, one is coming out to the governor. One is coming out to local government chairman. They must spend the money for us. Anyone that pray to send money to the joint of the state, that will pay yes. But in Lagos here, I'm talking my governor. The man is working. That is I mentioned what road is two roads. I want them let's get at better. Enter the Odojo road. The work is going on. The first phase enter at Olusi. Do you know the type of road they are building there with Opeyemi? That road. They can spend the second phase. I'm telling you, those who live on that.
Prince Wise, I'm really struggling to hear you. And I'm hoping you can still squeeze in 30 more seconds before we say our goodbyes on the show. 091-3600-0410. Pastor Baramosi, good evening. Oh, there, I missed that. Okay, one more call. Hello, good evening. You're welcome, Mr. Dixon.
Yeah, God bless you. You see, I keep saying it. It's not that I hate APC. I don't like gimmick government. You see, when you want to govern a country like Nigeria, before, even during campaign, like I said, put your men down to study the government, where the past government have failed, then you come in. Our government made mention of promised CMG buses a year ago. First of all, it made some, I want to use some words, that, pay out money to people, that was cancelled. CMG, but all these are panic inducement or statement. Over a year now, you probably about 300 nothing. Now you are not putting to okay, let me talk about what our vehicle is my guy using. Obasanjo during his tenure dropped his message defense and went for the ⴰ and he said all the government should go on. That is it. That's cutting costs. That's cutting costs. If you tell your government, all your ministers today now say All your so-called SUV, drop it. Go for Nigeria-made vehicles. You see, Naira, dollar will drop instantly. But they know what they are doing.
Thank you.
All the money are tucked away in abroad. They know what they are doing now. They don't want the currency to drop.
Thank you.
They know what to do.
Thank you very much. Well, I just really hope that the instruction of Mr. President will be carried out. The MDAs have been instructed to go on and purchase CNG buses. Yes. Well, all memos that have the purchase of vehicles on them should be returned and redrafted to include CNG buses. Well, that's about the size of the package today. Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ says, help us to inform Governor Sanwo-Olu that the contractors abandoned the Ijagemo road and we are in a rainy season. There's flood everywhere. Rashid Tawarid on Facebook says, your guest is just trying to give the government a pass mark. There's no more potable water in Lagos, but Ogun State is the worst to no water, no power, no good road, no health care, no education. Here in Ogun State, it's like we're living in hell. There's no government concern at all. Well done. Thank you very much. It's been a big conversation today. We visited Adamawa State as we continue in our series of the scorecard on Mainland 98.3 FM. From now to the end of the month of May, we'll visit all of the states as much as we can cover. And of course, National Assembly members, State Assembly members, commissioners and ministers to tell us what they've been up to in the last 1 year as we build up to the first year anniversary of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. My name is Opeyemi. Thank you to everyone that reached out. Thank you for joining us. Tomorrow, 1 to 3 p.m., it's Midweek Politics. I will be back. Join us.